Okay, welcome along. Okay, got to do my cybersecurity there now on the password and keep it safe. And so this is the first, very welcome, this is the first of our flipped classes. So I've long held the view that students learn best when they're not under pressure of having to keep up with a class, but when you have the freedom to know when to look, when to watch a video, freedom to pause it, freedom to control your own learning and know your own learning, then there's a lot to be said for it. So at the same time, how do we get online classes right? Well, let's try this. Let's try just me going through explaining it to you question by question and see how that works, and then maybe in class I can spend more time asking me questions and checking for understanding. So equations with an x as the index. As always, let's just jump straight in. So the most basic thing to look at is that it's an exponential function, 2 to the x. And 2 to the 0 is 1. 2 to the 2 is 4. 2 to the 3 is 8. And it curves on up. Now here, when we go back, and there's an imaginary scale here, when we go to -1 it'll be a half, then it'll be a quarter, then it'll be an eighth. So overall, exponential functions have a few features. They're either increasing or decreasing depending on the positivity of the power. That'll be increasing. This will be decreasing. And these are the curves we're seeing in the pandemic. This is the one we don't like. This is the one we like. Technically, this one can never go to 0, but in reality, if we get the last person to get well, and there's no COVID in the island, technically we can have none. But then, of course, an airplane lands, and we're off to the races again, and we're wondering whether the R number. So the R number decides whether it's curving up or curving down. If it's an R number of 1, it's neither leveling off or it's neither decreasing or increasing. So if we're studying exponential functions and we don't mention COVID, there's something wrong with me, okay? So that's the nature of R is the number that goes there. Okay, and this is why when R becomes less than 1, it could be like 1/2 is R. And then that could be plus x. But very quickly we learn that that's 2 to the minus x, you see? So really if R is less than 1, it's like having a negative index, like 2 to the negative x, where this becomes 2, 4, 8 out here, a quarter, an eighth, a 16th. Now, why did I go on and on about that? Because if you do a 2 to the x curve, there's only one curve. So it doesn't loop back on itself. So if 2 to the x equals 2 to the 5, then these things are equal. It only happens in one place, at 32, 2 to the 5. So the minute you see this, 2 to the x equals 2 to the 5, you say x equals 5. When you see y and -2, you say y equals -2. No explanation at all, that's the answer. When you see z and a quarter, and these are the same, z equals a quarter. Nothing else to be said. Now the next one, we have 2, and this is exercise 410. We have 2 to the x equals 16. Now if we could write this as a power of 2, we can use what we did in the previous question. So this is 2 to the 4, bingo. Okay? And if you don't know that, you do this. You do the log to base 2 of 16, and you get your answer of 4. X is 4. 3 to the x equals 27. So hopefully you say, yeah, but sure, 27 can be written as 3 to the 3. But if you don't, you go base 3, 27, and you convert it away like that, and you get your answer of 3. And now is where this comes into its own, because what I have to show you next, we can do it, and some of you, and maybe all of you will follow, and maybe you won't, but the calculator will be easier. 4 to the x equals 8 over root 2. 4, and if we're going down this line, I have to turn this into 2 squared to the x equals 2 cubed over 2 to the half. Okay, 2 to the 2x equals 2, make this 6 over 2 to the 5 over 2, taking a half from 6 over 2. 2x equals 5 over 2, x equals 5 over 4. Now come on, that was hard. That's kind of honours maths, isn't it? So turn the page, 5 over 4, the answer. Okay, 5 over 4, but come on, that's no way to do it when we can do it the easy way. So what's the easy way? Out with the calculator. Log the base is 4, and the number you're converting is a fraction, 8 over square root of 2. Okay, 5 over 4. Which do you prefer? I know what I prefer, especially for an ordinary level exam. Okay, I want to see where it goes after that, sir. It's okay. So, I'll do that in another video. That's a nice little video to get you started.